Welcome to Ungoogleable. Today I'm sitting down with professional boxer, Olympian, and entrepreneur Tony Jeffries at his amazing facility in Brentwood, California, Boxing Burn. Tony, man, thanks for doing this.
What's happening, mate? What's happening?
Excellent, man. We have a lot to talk about. The one thing where I want to get started for those who don't know who you are, maybe talk about how a kid from Sunderland ends up living in Los Angeles.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, all of the things that's happened in my life since I was a 10-year-old kid until now I'm 34 years old. It's been a great journey, you know, it's had lots of ups and downs, and it all comes through boxing, you know, through boxing, through punching people in the face and getting punched in the face. Started boxing when I was 10 years old in Sunderland, and won my first national title at 14. Again, another one at 15. European champion at 16. At 21, I boxed in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne. Then I went to the Olympics in 2008 in Beijing, got a bronze medal there, turned professional. After that, retired in 2012 with bad hands, moved to America, started boxing for fitness, opened another gym, started an education program, and that's my story in a nutshell. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, that is it, guys. We're going to get out of here, wrap it up. No, but that's I've sat down with you prior in previous years on a different show, and that is a rough draft of an expedited version of what boxing has given to you, what you've given the sport, and the hands. When it comes down to, everyone wants to say, I built this with my hands. You've done that, but correct me if I'm wrong, most of the fruits of your labor came after a career-ending injury. With most fighters have been known to just, that's it. And their legacy then would have been, 10-0 retired, you were professional, never lost, and that was your legacy. But you were like, no, I'm gonna do something else, I'm gonna double down. Talk about that second career of yours.
Yeah, so when I retired from boxing, doing it since I was 10 years old, retired at 27, I never left school with any qualifications. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I had a good business plan on this, started drinking, put on weight, got depressed. I was like, what am I going to do now with my life? And I've got a great wife, great family behind me, and they helped me focus my attention on something else, which was boxing for fitness when I moved to California. And if you think about all of the years of hard work and dedication that I put into boxing, if I'm putting all that energy into a business to become, like I said, to become an Olympian, I'm going to be successful no matter what the hell I do, right? So that's what I've done. I forgot about boxing, focused on business, focused on my new passion, which is teaching people how to box to help them in their everyday life. I did that and it just exploded. And like we were mentioned before the podcast, since I retired from boxing, life's been easy, and I'm more successful financially now after boxing, even though I did all right through boxing. But it's been so easy, and that comes down to having, I think, the work ethic that I've had and that I've put into this. It's not the work ethic I put into boxing or fighting monsters who's trying to knock me off. It's been easy.
Yeah, you were off air. You were giving me some advice on building that brand, both physically and online, social media. And you were talking about, though, some mistakes and things that people are doing wrong. Now, regarding your own personal journey and speaking on the importance of failing, I think we either allow ourselves to succumb to the failure and we wear it as a badge and we never do anything past that, or we take the failure, we look at it, we sit with it, we learn, and then we move on. Maybe share with us something that was at the time in boxing, when it was your whole life, that you failed at, that now as a successful entrepreneur, you're able to use to serve you.
Well, I feel like I failed at boxing because I didn't reach my full potential because of the hand injuries, so it just gets down to like getting over that. It's not feeling sorry for yourself, because that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm supposed to be a fighter. I've done it since I was 10. Getting over that hump and focusing on something else. That's the big thing that I've done. But that is not easy. I make it sound easy. It's easier for me to see than do. Everyone's different and everyone's emotions are different. But for me, that's all I did. I got over that hump and looked on the other side.
When you were forced to retire from boxing and you started drinking, like you aforementioned, and then you talk about your family being there, how important was it for you to have that positive circle of influence supporting you in getting back on your feet?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to have the family around there, try to show me love, but at the end of the day, it's all down to me. Like, you can have you can have hundreds of people around you telling you, you need this, you need that, you need that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the individual to really pull yourself out of that lump. Even since I've retired from boxing, I've got this new life. I still have down days where I'm feeling down. Doesn't matter what anyone says. It's on me to get myself out of that. And I think everyone has them down days right now. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, you do feel down. You can be as successful as anyone, but you still won't feel down. It's on yourself to really pull yourself out of that little hole that you're in. What do you think about it? Let me return the question to you.
And it's something that I talk about with the people in my network is self-motivating. And one of the things I do as well as coach, and I help people, and I think it's a framework of how we look at our actions, or we look at what we want to do related to how we feel. So rather than when I'm having those down days, think about the things that aren't going well or the things that I need to work on, I'm able to just streamline the action of, because I'm aware that if I just start moving and I'm fortunate enough to be doing what I love, it'll take care of itself.
Right.
I try not to get fixated on like mental health. If we're having a bad day, depression, we all have that. Hopefully one day it won't be taboo as a culture to talk about that. But there was a video that really helped me. Do you ever, Alan Watts? Name ring a bell? He was the godfather of existentialism. In the 1950s, he was a British man, philosopher, one of these first men to stand on stage in front of young people 70 years ago and tell them, maybe the best route isn't for you to go to college. Maybe this system that's been in place isn't the best way to find your happiness. And he was talking about depression and anxiety, and he said, don't think that it's who you are. Think of it, you as the vessel in the chamber, and these moments, these bad days are just wind energies flowing past you momentarily, and they're going to pass through. They're not who you are. They do not identify with you. They're just using your body momentarily. So that's when I heard that a couple years ago, that really made sense.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's good.
Yeah, so he's a deep dude, and I think if anyone's listening to this, search Alan Watts. You could find, he passed away years ago, but you can find hundreds of hours of him speaking on this about just being aware.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I remember one time when I was down was when I was boxing. I was in the quarterfinals. Oh no, it was in the finals of the European Union Championships, and the fight before the final, I took a bad punch to the nose, and my nose all swelled up, and I had a fight the next day. And I wanted to pull out the fight, and I was in my room, and had the curtains closed, and it was dark, and it was dull. And we've got a sports psychologist on the team, and he come and sat on me bed, at the bottom of my bed and spoke to us. Now with me, I'm not fighting. I'm not up to it. My nose is messed up. I can't do it. Come on. He went, look where you are. Come on, get out of the room. So he got me out of this dark room where I was in, which was messy, clothes everywhere. We went for a walk outside in the sunlight, and as soon as we went for a walk out in the open space, and then he started speaking to me, I was like, wow, I'm not as bad as I thought I was. So I think one of the first things you can do if you are feeling down like that is what you just said there, is move. Start moving and getting out and getting that open space.
Change that perspective.
Yeah,
I love the stuff you're doing right now with the business side of things, that you're focusing on the fitness professional. You're not only educating the fitness professional on learning these high-level skills of how to box and coach boxing and teach it at a commercial level, but then you've taken it to the next level and you're teaching business skills. All right, how to take what you're doing, monetizing it, and attracting people you want to kind of be in that path. And you said that, share with us those 3 things that you look at on an Instagram page to ensure that either you're posting the proper stuff that's going to lead to a good business, or you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, right now, whether you like it or not, Instagram is huge. Social media is huge. It's kind of like the modern day business card. If someone wants to tell their friend about you, they'll say, check out his Instagram. And like I say, whether you like it or not, the bigger you're following, the more credibility you see from the outside, people who don't know you, right? So I think it's important that all fitness professionals should be growing their social media following, especially the Instagram following. And what I tell them all is to grow your following, you've got to be doing one of the 3 things. You've got to be educating, inspiring or entertaining on your posts, or even better, do all of them 3 things on one post, and then that's going to help grow your following. If I went to your Instagram account and looked at the last 3 posts, what you posted, would I follow you? Are you giving me any value? If you're not, I'm not bothered about following you. If you are, then the chances are I'm going to follow you. And again, the bigger you're following, the more credibility you've kind of got in this day and age right now. And since I've started doing this, my following is shot up, you know. It's really shot up.
In 2017, I think you were at like 14,000. Yeah. Maybe somewhere under there, and now you're somewhere around 190,000.
Yeah.
But with the engagement as well, and people now expect things from you though.
Yeah.
You know, with that comes a little bit of pressure to kind of perform again, and that's something that, you know, if you are building a platform based on credibility like you are, you're an expert in the field, former champion, Olympian. Maybe talk about some kind of similarities, even though it's the digital world, with performing under pressure, because if you stop following those rules that you talked about, the people aren't going to come.
Yeah, people aren't going to come. They're going to unfollow me.
Yeah.
But it's like as well, it's great for business as well. It's not just great for my ego. It's good for business as well, because now I'm building a trust with people. I'm giving people value. You've heard of the book Jab, Right Hook?
For sure, Gary V.
Yeah, Gary V. Where it's give, then ask. You know,
for sure.
It should be more like 100 jobs, then a right hook. So all I'm doing is giving value, and then when I ask for a seal, I'll get the seal. And it's the same with fitness professionals. Any business you're in, really, if you can grow that and give value, it's going to grow you as a brand, and not the entity who doesn't want to grow that yourself as a brand. And if you're on social media, people think, I haven't got a brand. But if you're on social media, you've got a brand. You are your own brand. People are judging you, people are reading your posts, you're representing yourself. So you've got to really make sure that you're putting out the right sort of content to represent you as yourself. Even if you work for someone else, you know, you've still got your personal brand that you've got to grow. And I try to educate everyone on this.
When you jump on airplanes with your team and you travel the globe doing your seminars and educating the masses on, you know, how to properly box, teach it, and coach it, and then you have guys like Sugar Ray Leonard coming into your gym, Conor McGregor coming into your gym, people like that. Share with us maybe some depths of the team that you have around you in regarding to that structure of your own business and brand. Or is this obviously, I mean, we've seen the one in Santa Monica, we're in Brentwood now, 2 manifests of all of your hard work.
Yeah.
Talk about the team around you that helps you kind of get prepared and take your business to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, the team is massive. I couldn't do it without.
Is Kevin and Glenn still?
Yeah, Kevin, my business partner, who's in the gyms, then Glenn's my business partner in the education stuff. Both great guys, passionate, hardworking, and really know the stuff, you know. And then with them as well, right now in the company we've got about 55 employees, so we've got a great team around us. And I feel like in LA, it's harder to grow a team than anywhere else, because lots of people in the city want to be actors, actresses, models, whatever. So they try and use us as a stepping stone. So it's harder to find people who really want a career in this field. But we've managed to do it, and now to find a great team, our hiring and development is really tough to get through, you know.
What are some things you look for then when people walk through those doors now with your experience? You mentioned the LA being a component of it's hard to see through their intentions. So maybe have you developed kind of a system now in the interviewing process, questions you ask, sort of things you look for?
Yeah, part of the hiring system, like for a trainer, for example, before we even sit down with them, we're telling them to come and take 2 classes at the gym, boxing classes. Then after they've took the classes, we want them to do a write-up and say how they would work at if they would like to work at the gym, how could they help the gym? Is there anything that we could improve at the gym from your experience? Then they'll write us a big write-up. The first thing is we'll check the resume, then we'll send them to the classes. Then they've got to send us the write-up of the class, and then from there we'll, if it's good, then we'll bring them in for an interview. The interview goes well, we'll put them on a development program. Now the development program could take from 3 to 8 weeks where they're coming in and working with our trainers, and they'll be working on the mitts, doing the other sort of stuff that personal trainers do, fitness professionals do, and they're not getting paid for that. So, and then we've got an online version as well, so they've got to learn online. There's a lot for someone to do to get a job here, and that really filters out the crap, the people who don't want to be in this industry.
Was this a trial and error process you learned through experience?
Yeah, big time. Remember when we first started, because we grew fast. We grew big really fast. And it was like, oh yeah, you've got boxing experience? Yeah, all right, so you're hired. Because we needed guys. We were hiring people like that, but we were firing people like that as well. So now with this development system and this hiring process that we've got, it really filters out all of the crap that's out there, which there is a lot, you know. And that there helps us get a great team. You know, it's a longer process, but it's a better process, and that's how we've gotten a great team around us right now.
Are these things that people who are watching this or listening to this on the audio platform, are these in like your course, like the business side of things? Have you put one together for like the gym owner?
Right.
Because I'm sure turnover and keeping people and things like that, when you mentioned this one thing that you've had since you were young is that business mindset.
Yeah.
Because me as a coach, and that's one thing I think of, and a lot of coaches are worried about where either they're going to get people either working for them from, or like how are they going to get good staff, or how are they going to keep clients. So the retention side of the game, is this something that you put in paper or kind of documented? Because it sounds like they say the best experience is learned through trial and error.
Yeah.
So you have that. Are you sharing that?
Yeah, we do share that, and also Glenn Holmes, who's one of the most successful trainers around, he talks about building relationships and retaining clients, because that's huge. You've heard the phrase, you can only sell shit once, right? So when someone comes to you, do you use bad language?
No, use whatever language you want. It's Friday.
when someone comes to you, how you want to coach them, but how you want to build a relationship with them. You know, because relationships, you know this, relationships, not just in the fitness industry, but in life, is everything. Everything to grow you and your brand as well. So we dive deep into that.
For sure.
That's massive. It's really, really massive.
I want to touch on the family component, because I know you're basically a kid from Sunderland. You're living opposite side of the world. You've carved an amazing path out for yourself. You speak all the time how close and important, you know, your family is to you. You're on the road sometimes. I see videos, you're traveling literally like a rock star, with a rock star. One of your clients, Robbie Williams. Maybe talk about some pros and some cons. We know the pros, it's probably really rad to get literally that treatment, but maybe share some stuff that kind of is a downside of that, because on paper it's any PT's or coach's dream to do that.
Yeah, the travel, the downside, I've got 3 young daughters, 5, 4 and 2.
Wow.
So like so that's the downside. That's probably the only downside. Traveling with the superstar.
So you're getting work done with that last tour you did with him. He's bringing you, because in between his performance, he's training with you.
Yeah, we train every day with Robbie and his team.
Did you have a relationship with him before? Or did he just reach out to you?
His manager reached out to me, so they asked, again, it comes down to networking. So they were looking for a boxing trainer. That asked Conor McGregor's manager if there's who's the best boxing trainer in LA. He recommended me, and then that's how the relationship started from Conor's manager. And then next thing I'm with Robbie, training him and his team, and yeah, it's been great. It's been a great experience and great exposure as well. Being with someone, he's not huge in America, but in the UK and everywhere else.
Australia, he's huge.
Yeah, he's huge in Australia. It's great, and so that's been a good experience as well. Working with him, and like I say, the exposure, networking is amazing as well.
You said you're 34?
34 now.
And you started this path, 8 years ago?
Yeah, when I retired from boxing.
So 26?
Yeah, like when I was just turned 27, I was retired from boxing, and then we started the gyms. And
what do you visualize 8 years from now?
I want to have an impact on more people. Right now, with the gyms, we have a class of 30 people, and I don't teach classes anymore, but the trainers will teach a class, and we'll have an impact on 30 people's lives. We might have 1,000 people a week coming through here who have an impact on that many people's lives. It's not enough. But now with the education program, now we do a course where I've got 50 trainers there, and I'm educating them. Them 50 trainers are going to be working with, let's say, 10 people each. That's trickling down now. I'm having an impact, a slight impact on their lives. I want to go one or two or three more steps above, where, you know, we can put our methods into 2,000 gyms, who's teaching 1,000 people each, and just really having an effect on hundreds of thousands of people a week, you know. And there's no reason why we can't do that, you know. There's really not. And again, what we talked about before with different networks that we've got and we build, and
it's definitely possible.
Yeah, a huge thing in business, if you're listening and you're into business, is networking. It's not that hard to network, you know.
Your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you read the E-Myth book?
No.
Michael Gerber? Oh, it was written in the 80s. It's one of these books that came around pre-internet, or right when it was coming up. You could read it in a weekend, but he drops bombs in that one that hold up today. Like, work on your business, not in your business.
Yes.
And you've done this specifically, and something that I've been working on figuring that equation out. Like, how do I personally not spend so many hours in the gym, even though I love it and I love helping people? So transitioning into now I get working on the business, not in it. It's something you've done well.
Yeah, it is, and there's so much to it, like getting used to outsourcing, understanding that someone who you hire is not going to do it as good as you. You know, that's a hard
And then a
thing.
trust issue. Like, how then do you trust somebody, especially with something so technical as the sweet science?
Yeah.
Like, it's something that it's hard to wrap the mind around, that you're able then to literally, you're almost creating, from the coaches who are credentialed through you, you're almost creating a little bit of like puppet mastery. Of being able to have them manipulate their body technically to where you're happy with it, and then also take that and teach it to other people.
Right, yeah.
It's like a form of almost hypnosis.
Yeah.
You know, because the body moves, we all move differently.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult, but the beauty of the internet now, we can have an impact on more people's lives. Like, we've got the online course now, where we've had over 1,000 people take that, and they're learning from me online. You know, so that's
excellent.
It's another platform that we can do. But when I'm talking about outsourcing, like remember when we first started the gym, I was working behind the desk, or like signing people in onto the computer, doing everything you can imagine with the gym. I was doing all that stuff, but now you figure
Outsourced it out.
Yeah,
Other people are doing it.
Like teaching every single class.
Yeah.
Now there's no one to teach a class as good as me
Yeah.
in here. But if I want to grow, I can't be teaching a class. Do you know what I mean?
Or make it like super exclusive once a week. You know, pack that thing up.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit higher level of the standards.
I'll do it once every couple of months, and it gets packed.
Yeah, just pack the show out.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got to understand that no one's going to give it a 10 or be as good as me. You know?
Yeah, it's a powerful thing to then allow people on your team to take the reins over. So the show's called Ungoogleable. I want to ask you, of the people who know you the best, including your family, maybe share with us something that not many people know about you that they couldn't search for.
And this year that I've probably been drunk more days than I've been sober, and that's the truth. You know,
traveling. Get it. What's your favorite drink?
I drink in the house. I drink wine.
Are you drunk now?
No,
We're hammered.
I'm having a sober October.
Good boy.
I'm sober off. Well, it's like I go to Australia at the end of the month. I'll be on the beers.
I'll
then.
see you there too.
Yeah.
Sydney bound.
But
You've been
yeah,
drinking.
I mean, I'm telling you, it helps me sleep. It's funny because social media, it looks like you've got everything. I'm driving my dream car. I'm smashing it with the gyms. I've got a great healthy family. I've got a few quid in my pocket. I'm doing all right from the outside looking in, but then at night times when it's like, fuck, I'm thinking about this and that and that, and worrying, get me a bottle of wine and I'm good.
Are you writing anything down though?
Sleep out.
Well, then, me like looking at that, I know that. I'd rather talk about the wine, but actually I'd rather talk about your overall well-being. But there are ways to kind of, because you have a lot of ideas, man. You have a lot of goals and dreams. You want to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Are you doing anything to express that? Like writing it down, clearing the head through like a meditation practice, getting in the float tank, or are you just keeping it inside and then allowing sort of the wine to diminish that.
Yeah. Well, that's been the problem. Like I've changed it. It's only like 10th, 12th of October right now.
You haven't had a drink.
I haven't had a drink, and I'm feeling really good, and
Good.
I'm getting a different mindset. I am writing more stuff down. So and I know what I've got to do. See, the thing with me being a bit of an entrepreneur, a bit of a businessman, is I get so many opportunities that come along, and it's hard to say no. I'm like, ooh, this is going to work. Ooh, this is going, and I'm just getting dragged. You know, but like the last 6 months, I've been focused on my big goal, and that's building up now.
Building that up.
Like I see it from the outside looking in, I look like I'm killing it.
Yeah.
But when you get inside their head, it's like it's not.
Well, we're our toughest critic.
And people, I think a lot of people would be the same. You know, I really do.
Yeah, there's never. It's not like you're ever going to stand on a hill and say I made it.
Yeah.
It's not a place. It's a feeling.
Yeah, and no one really speaks about that. People do drink, people do get depressed, but not many people speak about that. You know, another thing with me is I know that I've had the biggest highlight of my life, and I'm never going to, no matter what I do, I'm not going to reach. I'm not going to be on an Olympic podium again. I had an 8 years training program to go to the Olympics. I know that I'm not going to stand on that podium and get a medal again.
But what if
that's
you stood
the highest high?
What if you stood in front of 50,000 people and impacted them through like a speech or something?
Yeah, I mean maybe it's not going to be the same as getting on the Olympic podium. I guarantee you that. So I've got to deal with this. You know, I've got to deal with. I've probably peaked when I was 23 years
like
old.
Orson Welles. No wonder he. You know what that is? No, War of the Worlds. He peaked early anyway.
Yeah, I peaked early, but you know, and that was a hard thing about when I'm packing boxing. I was getting depressed, but I'm over that now. But you know, it's just a strange thing. You know, it's a strange thing. Life is a strange thing, but you know, I'm figuring it out. I'm still figuring it out along the way.
Well, you're inspiring people along the way. Me hearing this and you being so open and upfront with everyone about how normal you are, because when I look at you from afar, I don't look at one individual thing that you've done. I know you were on the podium. I know that you own 2 gyms. I look at the person that when I first heard of you a few years back, and now who I'm speaking to right now, how much you've changed.
Right.
And you probably don't have a gauge of that because it just feels the same, I bet. But even in your conversation, what you're talking about, quoting certain books, I'm like, dude, man, you're just getting started. 34? What's an Olympic podium? Are you kidding me? Dude, there's jets and rockets out there. Like that's where we're thinking. So we all know where to find your fight videos if everyone wants to watch your old fights. The last thing I want to leave everyone with is you turn to the camera and where can we follow you at on social media and sign up to your courses at?
Yeah, you can follow me on Tony_Jeffries on all platforms. If you want to learn boxing, you want to learn how to punch harder. Who doesn't want to learn how to punch harder? You know what I mean? Everyone wants to learn how to punch harder. I'm not bothered if you're a 5-year-old little girl or you're a 70-year-old man. You want to punch harder. So if you want to learn that stuff, come and follow me on Instagram. And then as well, what was the other thing?
Where can they sign up to your courses?
Oh yeah. The boxingburnacademy.com. Boxingburnacademy.com. Learn how to teach boxing to other people.
My man, Tony
Yes.
Jeffries, bro. Thank you for that.